Hey guys, Lobbits here, back with another shorter video today because I've been busy. Hopefully next week won't be as short. In this one, we're going to be talking about juking and Forsaken. First, we're going to be talking about the theory of juking, when to do it, how to do it, and all the above. Just everything on the topic. We'll also be reviewing a 1v1 scenario against a comp player. You know who you are. Thank you for the footage, even if it's kind of strange to use it. Just using that to show the real fundamentals, as juking's a pretty simple concept overall. It's generally one of the most useful things to learn. Now, it's important to say before we start the video that you know that this is your backup. You should be doing juking after you're out of time to loop or you don't have the chance to go to a loop. It's also mainly useful on characters like Guess1237, Dusakar, and any survivalist, maybe besides Veronica. Also make sure to subscribe and like pretty please before we actually start. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the basic theory of juking. Before we jump into the live commentary of the 1v1, here's the core idea. To juke, you need to get inside the killer's head. You need to either dodge the M1 or manipulate it into not hitting you. There's two ways to do this. Starting with number 1, which is M1 timing. You just turn sharply right as the killer should M1. Since you know the killer has a certain amount of time before they can M1 again after every single M1, you can just count the time in your head since their last swing and turn at the exact right moment, and that typically will get them to whiff. Second one is to manipulation juke, which is forcing a miss. A short time before they're going to be able to M1 again, you run closer to them and you do a bunch of sporadic movements in a short amount of time, then you break off in a random direction. If you do this right, it'll be really hard for the killer to track you and actually get the M1 in, turning juking from a 50-50-ish more to a 70-30 in your favor, which is very good if you can learn it. And if you are able to mix these two together, you can make it so you're unpredictable and you can drastically increase how long you can stay alive, because it will be a lot harder to predict what you're going to do. Anyways, directly from that, we're going to move straight into the 1v1, as it's going to be a lot more useful to see it now rather than later. Alright, moving into the 1v1, you're going to see I start with the stunned effect, because once that runs out, that's when the 1v1 actually starts. So I'm going to start by moving into the funhouse of pain and terror for goddamn 1x. Because as you're going to see, it's very hard to hit your moves here because of the changes in elevation. Anyways, you're going to see that this is about where the looping ends. I don't do too long of looping in this because the point for me was to actually juke, but like I didn't want to get too low of a time. So we start with the juking here. Pretty good prediction, and there was one 1v1 before this one, so I have a decent idea on how he's going to play. So as you can see, I'm able to use that more to my advantage than you'd get into a normal public match. You see, since I'm playing against, I'm making sure to use some use of my clone, but you see most of this is just switching up where I'm moving every time if possible. I'm doing a bit too much going left after juking, but you know it's fine. See, he doesn't know what I'm going to do because I do the wee circle spin. That's the easiest way to describe it. Also, if you're playing against 7, keep your clone close to you, because if a killer that's not Sixer or Slasher hits it, it actually ends their M1, so they can't hit you with it. And you're going to see that I actually zero myself here, so I'm forced to take a hit. Zeroed. And I'm going to move in here, probably not the smartest decision. I dodged the entanglement, but that's me down. Alright, now that we've seen that, juking is going to be one of the things guides actually can help you at learning, because it takes a long time to figure out how to actually do this without just throwing yourself into a wall and dying and dying and dying, or slowly learning it over maybe a span of 10 plus days of playtime to get even semi-decent at it if the killer has a brain. Anyways, the first core concept of learning it is the same as you would do with looping, which is play characters with no offense. This is where a lot of players fall into a trap in general. If you only play sentinels, you typically will learn to rely on stuns, not on movement. Swap the characters who don't give you a free escape. It forces you to build actual in-game sense. Your first step might have to be build the movement muscle memory, depending on what device you're playing on especially. You need to get good at turning your character real fast. If you're not on PC, this matters even more, because doing a quick spin on mobile, or to a lesser degree controller, can be pretty difficult. The best way to do this is that you just take some time to get fast at doing random spin and moving off. You don't even need to do it with a killer, you can just do it on yourself in a private instance. The second possible thing you might need to learn if you don't have as much playtime on the game is learning the M1 timing. If you struggle to track M1s, the easiest way to learn this is just grab a friend and hop into a private server, tell the M1 to spam M1 and try to predict when the next one will come. After this, your brain should learn the rhythm. It shouldn't take too long. It can be hard to learn when you're just playing the game because you're thinking, run away from killer, that's all I do. Especially if you're just learning juking, you're not going to have all that time up close with the killers, so you're less likely to have spent enough time to actually learn this. So if you need time with this, it shouldn't take long. It could take even 30 minutes to get it completely into your head. Alright, now into the characters I'd recommend for practice. Going from worst to best of characters I'd suggest. Dusakar, then N7, then Noob, then maybe Elliot. Everyone here besides Elliot has no get out of jail free card. The only character with one kinda close is Noob, but you need time to drink a Bloxy Cola, so you're probably gonna tank a hit while you do so. Dusakar is number 1 instead of N7 just because it's the easiest to get targeted with. N7 is good for actually learning it, especially if you use clone in cursor mode because you can practice M1 manipulation much better. Trying to play around your clone, making the killer hit it and instantly end the M1 hitboxes can be something very useful to do. And if you're playing Dusakar, you can really just play normally, just forcing yourself to rely on juking more. Because most of the time, if you're Dusakar, especially in a public server, you're going to get targeted, let's be honest. Everyone targets supports, it's kind of sad for them. If you're on N7 or Noob and you want to try get targeted without just running at the killer and dying, you can try hover around and body block for teammates. This will pressure the killer into chasing you, especially if they're not used to it, because it'll piss them the hell off. Like, sometimes you can even force them into not being able to dodge a stun. And that's your idea for those two. And then just Elliot. You know how to play Elliot, I would hope. You click Q when a teammate's low, and then the killer hates you for the rest of the game for no reason at all. Elliot's unbalanced. Please nerf them. But just the general tip I can really give you is the more real situations you actually put yourself in, the faster you're going to improve in juking. As I said in the last video, everything you need to do in this game, you need to learn it by playing. There's only so far this guide can get you, and any guide can get you, I promise you that. And I was moving into the conclusion. I can promise you one thing, if you follow everything I actually said, I can guarantee you that you'll become a pro juker much faster than you would expect. The only thing you need to remember when you're actually playing the game, not trying to learn juking, is it's a last resort. But besides from that, I wish you the best of luck of learning it. Now this, as I said, it's a shorter video because I've been making art, writing essays, sleeping from 2 PM to 11 PM. Some of the best stuff ever, you know. And it's hopefully next week it will be a John Doe versus Survivors tier list. If I have it ready, it takes a lot of time to record for a killer that's not just out because less people play them. Yay! Anyways, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!